Hello, ads should be done. So let's get going. Hope everybody's staying cool. I have a nice frosty beverage for this occasion. I know that Europe's been going through it. The heat wave has also arrived here in the Midwest. So it is been in the mid-90s Fahrenheit and quite steamy. And it will be for this week for sure. Hello, Frederick. Hope you're staying cool. We've had the AC going nonstop. In North Carolina, I feel ya. Oh, thank you for first-time chatter as well, Catwood Keebs. At least with a lot of the Midwest, we do have cooling infrastructure in place, unlike some places that have been getting hit recently. So that is a blessing. The AC's working hard, yeah. Yeah, so is ours. We also did some custom programming stuff with our thermostat and because we also have, it's funny to call it our solar system, but we do have solar panels and a backup battery. And so you can program it, you can put in info about your electric utilities. And so you can put in information about when peak charge hours are and stuff, depending on where you live. So we actually have it set right now to basically pull in as much solar and battery up until peak hours hit, and then pull off the battery as much as possible when electricity is the most expensive, and then switch back to coming off the grid and everything. And then we also are not having the AC run as often during peak hours as well to help conserve electricity. So far, it's working pretty well. I think it's pretty cool that we can do stuff like that. But gone are the days of our last couple electric bills that were, I think, about $8 each for last month and the month before. Each one was $8 because we were in that nice temperate zone where we could leave all the windows open. We cooled the house down overnight. Never had to run AC during the day. I was able to keep that cycle going for a while. But now we're putting the AC through its paces for sure. But I hope wherever you are, if you're in a warm spot right now, you're able to keep cool. You've got the resources you need to cool things down or to protect yourselves and your family and your pets, your critters, whatever you got going on. Sorry, I have a little bit of dinner still stuck in my teeth. But in the spirit of that, with it being a little hot, I had originally thought of doing some soldering practice today, but I don't really want the iron as well as extra electronics doing stuff in here with the fan and everything. So I decided to just do a simple rebuild. We've got some exciting stuff on the way. We've got the next 2 weeks I've got planned out. Excuse me, as far as what we're working on. Next week we're going to be building an agar, which if you haven't seen it, which I'd be surprised if you haven't at this point, it's a cute little HHKB style, 60% keyboard from KBD fans. It has lovely little sculpted corners and stuff. And so DCS UFO is finally coming in. That should be here Monday with all the kits, as well as the fixed kits that Signature Plastics sent out. So that's coming. And so I got the light blue anodized agar, and I think it's going to look really good on there. So we got that. That is going to be a solder job, but I think we can knock that out pretty well. And then we'll see if we have enough keys to do anything else with, because we got every kit and 2 of the novelties kits. So with the alt alphas and everything else, might be able to spread it out. We've got the 40s kit, so maybe we can put it on the bolt or something. But speaking of 40s, the week after that, I got another agar. I got an agar mini. And in that case, I got the, which I think I mentioned on stream, I got the pink polycarbonate agar mini with the Dynacap kit. So that's going to be where After School 1992 lives. We looked at that last week, of course, threw it on the bolt, but didn't have quite the right spacebar situation for that. But this we have, I know I have the right spacebars for this because we're doing the split 3U spacebars. So it'll be in a very agar-full couple of weeks, which I think is going to be really fun. And then after that, we'll see. There should be more boards coming soon, like the Cloud9. Let me consult the tomes here. Here we go. The Cloud9, I think, is going to miss its June delivery window since it is the end of June. You look like you'd have a rough tongue that I'd like rubbing up behind my ear. I'm sad to say, Amazid 2, I am not a cat, so I do not have the kind of tongue you are looking for. So, we're going to say bye-bye to you. Bye-bye. All right. What was I looking at? Oh yeah, what other things are coming up? Or that should deliver at some point in the next few months. The float, I think. Cloud9. Event Horizon, who knows? They're still working through. They've been providing every couple of weeks. If you're not following the whole Event Horizon debacle, let's call it at this point. It has basically come down to one person who is trying to work with the British government to get a bunch of tax paperwork sorted so that the boards can move from where they were machined and coded in Belgium to the UK, to Jay over at Prototypist, who can then send them out to North America and the UK. But like every 2 weeks or so, after a fortnight of zero information and updates, the whole Discord kind of rises up in revolt and speculation and pitchfork torch gathering. And then somebody who actually knows something will come in and give more information that nothing has changed. And people will calm down for a little bit. So I imagine this cycle to just continue in perpetuity. But we'll see if that ever shows its face. Of course, I personally like to think that now, perhaps it is just being held until Swag Keys clip-in night stabs are available, and then I can use those in the Event Horizon. That's what I like to think. That once those become available, then the board will appear and I can put some in there. But anyway, let's dive into some other new interesting projects. So there's been some new interesting keyboard stuff that's come up. One just today that I know some folks have been aware of is I know Shark looked at it in his like ICGB streams. I wasn't really aware of it, and I think I'd seen some renders. I wasn't really aware of it being available for Group Buy until today, but we'll go through some new stuff. One project that has interested me a little bit that I actually got to try at KeyCon, granted that I couldn't hear it very well, but I did get to type on it, was a prototype for the Wing, which is a Clever board. Clever, of course, the brain behind Dynacap. and has teamed up with Omnitype, as you may expect here, for this stunner. A very interesting board, partly because of the way that it is being marketed in terms of its acoustic properties that I'm curious to learn more about. I think Alex has streamed a prototype of this before, but it's also gone through many iterations over a lot of years. So I'm curious to see if this latest production prototype is going to be any different. I think Alex is going to be streaming this again on Friday, perhaps. So the wing, let's look at some pictures here. So it comes in two different colorways. There's kind of an orange and white, and then a blue and silver / clear. And it has an aluminum top and a polycarbonate bottom, and then the titular wing, which kind of is a back foot, essentially, that put on the back. It has a really interesting curve on the front, and as well as a nice lip. And it can come in wind keyless, and HHKB layouts. So there's a look at the kind of the white with orangey. There's one of the blue with dual shot. And then the bottom has, oh, thank you, Frederick, for that. The bottom is this interesting polycarbonate piece. So on the white and orange one, it's orange. And then it's clear, or more of a frosted polycarbonate on the blue one. You can see there's the feet, the front feet there, the back feet go on the wing. And the wing is actually magnetic and can be removed. Which, and flipped, I want to say. There's some more views of the feet and USB-C. Let me review exactly what they said about this. Yeah, removable magnetic wing. So I guess you could make it completely flat if you really wanted to. Based on a car, like a car spoiler, which, shocker, a car design in the keyboard space. Unprecedented. Oh yeah, so you can change the angle of the keyboard with the magnetic riser. This is the part that interests me from an acoustic point of view, and I want to see how it's going to sound in sound tests, which is designed for resonance, featuring a dedicated spacebar chamber. So it is designed to be kind of louder and more resonant, I'm guessing. So I'm interested to see how that's going to come across in sound tests. It does have MX, EC, and HE, which is pretty cool. And I think as well, it's also using the new, or will, because it's in Group I, it's using the new Dynacap EC PCB. Which I'm trying to remember for sure if it mentioned that in here or not. Diffusion pad. Oh, so that's interesting. I wonder if that is the difference in the look of the silicon. So there's, or the polycarbonate. So there is a silicone pad that can diffuse the light even more. But I wonder if that's optional. But I can't remember if it was on this page or somewhere in Discord, or it was talking about it being a new electrocapacitive Dynacap PCB. Because it does support multiple layouts, if I'm not mistaken. Dynacap plates are 7U bottom row. Anyway, interesting stuff. I'll have to look that back up again, but not something I'm 100% sure I'd be interested in. I love the look of it. I'm a little interested. The sound of it is something I would be very curious about, as well as the price of it is a bit steep for me right now for what it is. It's very beautifully machined, and I know that a lot of work went into developing it. And it felt nice to type on, the prototype at least. It'll be interesting to see a little bit more of the details of the internals and the sound going forward. So I'm keeping my eye on this one, but I don't know that I want to dive into it. This runs for another 19 days, roughly. Another interesting project that just came into Group I today on novel keys is the Keyboy Advance, which I had seen some renders of and didn't know was an actual project. But kind of cool. Obviously taking a lot of inspiration from the Game Boy Advance. And these buttons are not just for show. They are functional micro switches, if I have it correct. Where is it that they talk about that? Yes, oh, there's just the shoulder buttons are micro switches and fully programmable, which is kind of neat. Here's a little diagram of it. So when you go through the configurator, you choose your materials and colors in PCB. They also have extra buttons available for purchase, so you could change them out if you really wanted to and do more customization to have it mimic a specific keycap set or look like your Game Boy Advance in real life or something like that. But kind of a neat project. The layout is interesting too because it comes closer to a 50% because it does include numbers. But yeah, kind of neat. Comes in a lot of cool colors as well, so it's not just made to look in, bog standard Game Boy colors or anything. It also is anodized aluminum, coated aluminum, or different colors of polycarbonate, like some of these, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to remember what the price comes in at typically. About $290. So again, not something I'm necessarily interested in because it is kind of very, very niche and specific. It does look cool. Hey, Masters, what's up? But just an interesting project that I thought that I don't really want necessarily to own for myself. But I am already typing on DMG3 right now, so it would definitely fit the whole aesthetic, the Game Boy vibe. It'd be fun to try to get it to match my actual Game Boy Advance that my friend Alex modded for me. That would be tough though, because it's like part purple, part see-through, part yellow, and I don't think they have a yellow one. But anyway, another interesting project. And then of course, we didn't really go over this at all when it launched, which was just over a week ago. But the Schema is live, which is really cool. I'm waiting to pick this up until some more Hobby Bunny appears for me. I've been pushing my hobby budget to its limits right now, so maybe if we have a little bit of time at the end, I do want to run through some configurations of this that I'm considering for myself. And Shark is also streaming the Schema right now, which is pretty cool. He got I know at least he has mint and acrylic. I don't know if he has any other parts, but that's pretty cool that he's streaming that both today and Thursday, I believe, and going through some different builds with it. But while the mint does look great, I am not sure I need another mint board because I've already got the mint Juna on the way. But that being said, we should probably dive into the build for today a little bit. Oh, I also want to show this off though. Speaking of EC builds, since we mentioned that, oh, he got the pumice weight. Nice. Yeah, I was considering pumice for myself as well because I was thinking about doing the ages one. But anyway, with EC builds coming up in a couple weeks and in the future, I had seen something like this. Oh, there's a little bit of filament hanging off here. On one of the EC building guides that I was following. Recommended something like this, and this is like 4 containers deep, but it's just a nice little 3D printed tray to hold springs. So I can hold, oh geez, what is this? 40, 80, 120, like 160 springs, I guess, if I needed to. For right now, I only have the springs that were left over from doing the classic TKL build. But this will be handy for, rather than just having them sit around, I can get them already sorted and into a handy little container ready to go into a build. But let's dive into what we are doing today to keep it a little more chill, literally, and not heating things up with soldering. We are going to do another classic TKL, but we are going to do one of the glowing ones. So I built this one before, a long time ago, and granted, because of the color, it was also the home of GMK High-Vis for a time. But this is the, I'm trying to remember what they called this color. The box probably says. Uranium. The uranium colorway. And so it still has some old mode stabs in it, as you can see. But I think what I wanted to do was redo this with some different stabs, and then naturally, it seems like a good fit for Windbreaker with some of the lime green we've got going on. Because I recently took Windbreaker off one of the other keyboards that I have been attempting to sell. Speaking of which, keyboard sales are going well. I mentioned that we did in the when we were taking photos last week. If you are curious in any of them, I still only have them posted on my Discord for right now. Probably after this week, I will start opening that up and posting them in other channels, other buying, selling places. I think I've sold about 3 of them, with interest in 3 or 4 more. Nothing definite on that yet, though, so if you were curious about some of those, feel free to hop in there and look at the pictures and message me. But other than after that, I'll probably start opening it up, because I gotta move these boards. That one built with Terror and slaps. Oh, very cool. I like this same uranium. So, which ones did I sell? I sold, well, I'm close to selling, well, some are being held for people who express interest prior to me doing the pictures, so some of them are not actually posted there, but there's a couple of those that are pending. But I've sold both the Neo 70s and the Cycle 7. What channel do you have keyboards for sale in, please? It's the channel called For Sale. I heard someone has their UFO delivered. I know... Well, I mean, all the US ones are going out right now. So I'm sure somebody has some. I know that Basil got some. And that's how they discovered that they needed to do replacements. You can't see that channel. It should be visible to everybody. Did you look at browse channels and see if you could find it? I should double check. I mean, other people have been messaging me about it, so it is visible. So. No, I didn't. Let's see. According to Discord, you can see it. So I don't know what to tell you. Sorry about that if it's giving you a problem. Anyway, Vice, I do not have UFO yet, if that's what you're referring to. UFO comes next week. Should arrive on Monday. It was a me issue? Okay. I was like, I thought I set this up right. I was hoping, because like that would explain why some of them weren't moving more quickly. But let's see. We will grab our bowl for some of this. I can't read. Seems like I thought it was you. I wish I had my UFO. But it should be here very soon. And we are going to build with it next week. The hope is to use that, and I should also have some switches that Shark modded for me that should be coming, some TTC blacks. So we'll see how those sound. Maybe chuck them in. It is a solder board, so it's a little bit more permanent. Maybe a little bit more stressful of choosing the right thing. So it'll be depending on switches I know will sound good versus some that may work more aesthetically with what's going on. Because we've got some light blues and some light yellows in the keycap set, so maybe something like cheese or clouds would work. It may end up just like be testing it in place and then soldering afterwards, after seeing how everything kind of sounds together. What kits did you get other than the base? Everything. I got every kit and 2 of the novelties because I wanted to be able to have mirrored novelties if I really wanted to. But that also may allow me to, depending on which kits I choose first, allow me to do at least a couple builds with everything, because you got alt alphas and everything else, you know? I was so sad that I had already missed out on Basil's first set, or previous set at least, Good Morning, that I just went all in on UFO. It's like, I'm not letting that happen again. Okay, we do got a little standoff buddies here. Mirror novelties, yeah, I think that comes in handy. And I feel like it's more often been a case for me of like, man, I wish I had more novelties than I have too many novelties. You know? All right, got our matching glowy plate. And we'll take out, let's take out these mode stabilizers. Too many novelties you can always sell, that's a good thing. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's a different thing. What am I doing? Let's put those over there. I have some spare night stab parts, so that's what we're going to use today. As I've been taking things apart to sell a couple things, I've been harvesting some bits. So I'll be reusing a spacebar stab from the parallel array and a 2U from that as well, and then I'll need to lube up a couple more. Hey Fetty, working and lurking. Welcome, enjoy. I lurk through, I watch a lot of keyboard streams and I'm almost always just lurking because either I have it on in the background or just like on my phone while I'm doing family stuff, like I need to, you know, I'm spending time with my kid or doing dishes or making dinner or something like that. And so I'm not exactly able to chat, or I'm watching them during work, which means I am also not usually able to chat. Sometimes I can, if I'm not too busy, I can have it up and I can actually participate, but yeah, I am a big time lurker. I wish I could be more active in some of them, but it doesn't usually pan out for me. It honestly works the best sometimes when Chris streams. If she streams in the morning my time, because then I'm not usually too busy yet at like 9:30 in the morning or whatever. You have a question. Yes, Masters. Ask away. Let me grab. I'll put it over here. Let's see. use half of this just to get a little bit of residue off. Okay, I forgot this also had the white PCB. Do you typically use right or left shift when you type? I typically use left. I realized when I started using this board that I have some passwords that I use a lot that have an exclamation point in them. And I realized that mostly for when I was only doing those passwords, I used right shift, which I discovered only when I started using this layout and I was like, what? But I feel like now I've trained myself more to use left just in case this situation is different, since there was a very heavy universe period that I was using this. Alex is on too. Oh, really? I feel like Alex often takes Tuesdays off. Maybe it's a busy. What's he streaming tonight? Everybody's cramping my style now. I used to be the Tuesday guy. That's why I was asking. Oh, the PAL, yeah, has the exploded right shift like that. Yep. That's interesting. Yeah, that takes some getting used to. I've retrained myself a bit to be more of a left shift user. But yeah, that's an interesting hurdle. Tofu Redux? Okay. Yeah, the Tofu Redux is interesting. I saw that. I was recommending a 60% to somebody and came across that had surfaced and was recommending it to them because I think they already had internals they wanted to use, and so they needed like the port in the right place and the tray mount and those kinds of things, and I think the Redux seemed to fit the bill, and so I suggested they were looking to just upgrade to a better quality enclosure. Put the full shift on my Ergo. Maybe the Neo Ergo, yeah. Yeah, the Neo Ergo is a board I love, but it is one of the ones I'm selling just because I just don't ever use it. It's lovely to look at, and I've really enjoyed rebuilding it, but using it is a different matter. And so that's another one that I'm looking at ditching. I like layered arrows, though, so I don't need them. Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right. So I've already got... We'll leave the... Actually, do I want... Let's do no foamies for now. What is this music that's playing right now? Let's change it. It's loading. There we go. Pool Suite finally updated their Mac app, so the new iOS version's been out for a while already, but I'm finally getting some of their jams on desktop again, so that's what we're listening to today. Really love my Ergo. I need to use it more. That's what I said. I love it. I just never used it. And so I figured I would pass it on. Especially with Neo's raising the prices on a lot of their stuff now and also discontinuing some of their other offerings. So I thought there might be interest in some of that stuff that just won't be available anymore for folks. I don't know that they're discontinuing the Ergo, but like they're not doing some of the other sizes anymore and other layouts. Mine is tired of me, she begs to rest. Can feel the heat. Another upside of getting boards ready to sell and digging through various supplies and things has been finding more stuff to give away for our upcoming affiliate stream, which is gonna be sweet. in August. I'm making a new pile of giveaway stuff. All right, so we'll need 3 more sets, which should be what I've got here. Nice. Finally use up some of these extra parts. I could never sell it even if I never use it. Oh yeah, my friend's partner sent me after she passed. Yeah. Yep. Understandable. All right, I usually do normal brush on this, but I figure I've got the we got the little lube friend here. So let's actually, so far I've only used these well, I was working on EC stuff, but she got me into keyboards, so it's special. Yeah. Understandable. Did you know you can extend the length of that geon screwdriver if you press like the head? Yeah. Yeah, I've shown that off on stream before. Yeah, there's a little ring you pull down. You interested in the test for your giveaway in August? Sure. If you want to donate. Abso-fruitly, we will do it. Yeah, we already have 1 keyboard. 2 would be rad. And then I've got like a bunch of switches and keycaps as well. I was even considering giving away a GMK set. I don't know for sure though. I have a Dracula bass that I've never used. It is opened, but I haven't used it because I got both the regular and the Git one. And I think I've only used the Git one, so I don't know that it's ever been mounted even. And I haven't used it up to now. Noah giveaway I would finally enter. That's all it took. Let's see. Oh, I need a couple more 2U wires. Or 1 more 2U wire, I guess. Let me see. I should have another one in my box of forgotten stabilizer stuff over here. Let's see. Yep. Extra wires. The other board I'm planning on doing a giveaway for is a Mirage Mode Envoy. Which I think they also just announced that they're discontinuing. Not the Envoy necessarily, but the Mirage colorway is going away. I'll get that test disassembled and boxed up for you. My friend confirmed he didn't want it, so I think it would be fun to see it go to someone that actually has stuff to build it. Oh yeah, that'd be rad. I did this too soon. I'm a fool. Excuse me. Well, thank you for the follow. Ubu Kunubi? Did I say that right? No worries and yes. Thanks for watching and following. I appreciate it. What am I working on? I am rebuilding a keyboard right now. Or you mean this specifically right now? Are stabilizers for the bigger keycaps, so they don't get wobbly. That's cool. I've been building a macro keyboard recently. Ooh. Let me say that. Is that like a macro pad, or like a really big keyboard? When you say macro keyboard, I'm curious. Okay. And then we've got these still. Those are the standoffs. And we've got some more here. A virtual one on a Raspberry Pi 5. Oh, interesting. Or like a keyboard for macros. Is that the idea? Touchscreen with resizable button and background shader. Oh, cool. That's fun. This is just a plain old normal keyboard. But it will glow in the dark, so that's something. And we'll be putting some pretty wild keycaps onto it, which is fun. And it will also have RGB underglow, but just to save all the typing. Yeah. For sure. Once I started getting into mechanical keyboards, I didn't mind repetitive typing so much because I just really enjoyed using my boards. Shark! What's up? How did the schema go? How am I doing? I am hot. It is very hot here. Which is usually pretty fine. But with the the door shut and the lights going. Exacerbates a little bit. Egg yolks and carbon fiber are loud. Yeah, I bet. I have egg yolks in my milk tooth cart right now, I believe. That's where they are. Once my hobby money replenishes, I'm gonna pull the trigger on some more switches. Check on whatever this is. Is this an important notification? I doubt it. No, it's way down here. Okay. Way down the list. What switches am I eyeing? I was looking at golden apples. I was looking at egg yolks. I was looking at... What's the other one I had in here? Some Shinhais, which I have yet to try. You know. Well, I've also got sharks from Switch. Switches from Shark on the way to me that we're going to try out next week as well. Shinhais are the first I ever tried. What did you think of them? There's so many HMX that I've tried a lot of HMX, and there's so many that I've still yet to try. Are those names key switch makers? No, those are switch models, essentially. HMX is a manufacturer. So like the Shinhais and the yolks are from HMX. The golden apples are from B-Sun. Did you know the describe? Yes, yeah, we talked about that earlier. I did that on stream a while back for those hard to reach places. They're really loud, like really loud. The V1's very plasticky clack. Oh yeah, well, you know, HMX. I did it on accident and thought it broke. That would be terrifying to be going, especially if you were like working on a thing and suddenly it like juts forward. Yikes. That would be unfortunate. I like them more than most other ones I've tried, though, to be honest. Okay, good to know. There are too many switches out there, and I don't have the money or the... I don't try to game the system like Naveed and some other folks do, of like building up points and then splurging on a bunch of things and all this kind of things. Dirty pinks, yes, I am aware you have been enjoying your dirty pinks. They're on my list as well to try at some point. Got to get those MX2As. Only if you want to. What he said. Get your dirty pink thoughts out of the gutter. You don't have to mod them, Masters. I was kind of teasing you about it, but if you don't want to, that's fine. Or if you don't have time or interest. Totally fine. I keep thinking, why didn't I just take them in Chicago? Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we were all thinking about the meetup. You had other things on your mind during that whole experience as well, so I think that is okay. We do live in the same town. I think it'll be okay. But along similar lines, something I think about a lot is why didn't, when I saw Max Voltar and hung out with him at the Novel Keys meetup last year, why did I not ask him to bring my Event Horizon with him and just give it to me? I think about it all the time. We chatted about it. He was like, oh yeah, I could have done that. Anyway. Can't change the past. Yeah, to put it lightly. That was a large error. Wait a minute. Why isn't this not going in? Oh, it did partly extend. And that's what she said. I'll need those again in a sec, but I'll just put them to the side for now. So to kind of go with the, even though we're not topping this with anything toxically green or anything like that, I did kind of want to lean into the aesthetic a bit, as I like to do with my switches. So speaking of HMX, we're going to be using some HMX Jelly linears. You know, that aren't like all the way on the nose, but they're, you know, it's not too far off. The stem and the bottom housing are a little off chromatically, but the top housing is pretty close, actually, in terms of the type of green used. So let us, with the soft plate, let's grab our provided fork here. Get down in there. These are on the lighter end as well. These are 48 gram switches. But I think that'll be an enjoyable experience. We can amp up the volume a little bit by not having it have any foams in it. Could even take the big silicon thing out of the base if we really wanted to, which I actually, honestly, I think I have yet to try in one of the classic TKLs. I considered doing it on the EC build, but it ended up being there was plenty of clearance inside for all the internals, even with the little bit of extra height that EC needs. Hydrate. Thank you, Vice. Enjoying our little Dream Seeker Raspberry Blonde from right here in West Michigan. I also had some really good beer this weekend while I was in East Michigan for a comedy festival that was happening over there. It's very fun. The first year they've done it over in Ann Arbor, which is where the University of Michigan is. And it was really great. Some big names from LA were there, which was really fun, headlining. Well, I guess not like really big names. but big if big in improv comedy from LA. I noticed your mouse. What do the extra buttons do? I have this. Well, this scroller goes side to side. This can also be set up to do something. I don't have that programmed right now. I have these set to volume, and this is media play pause. And this I have set up to launch the emoji picker, I think, actually, right now. This is lime green theme build. Please tell me you have high-vis. I do have high-vis. I've already used high-vis on this build before. It's old news. We're doing new stuff. We're going to use Windbreaker. I think I posted a photo of it on the Novel Keys Discord the other day, actually. Someone was talking about the GLO TKLs and high-vis, so I put it in a picture of my build. So it's in there somewhere. But it was a fun match. It is a little visually assaulting. But maybe when round 2 comes out and starts getting delivered, because I just got some of the new like novelties for it since I already have the first one, and I also have Artisans, or at least this one. Whoa, it got dark when I zoomed in, but I have the little raw alu and polycarbonate Artisan. There we go. Whoa. Interesting with the kit lens that what it does to the aperture or whatever when you zoom. As cool as Windbreaker is, I just can't vibe with it. I don't know why. Maybe it's too aggressively colorful. Yeah, I mean the big color vomit breaker sets aren't for everybody, for sure. I am deeply in love with it though, and I think the lime green tones will go well here. I know Shark, for example, already is using Windbreaker. He has one of the glowy pink Classic TKLs and is already using Windbreaker on that, so I'm only sort of copying him. But I'm also selling the board that Windbreaker had been on, so I needed to move it somewhere else. Pink glow, perfect match. But do you have matching switches? Zoom, zoom. Not that matters. Need to find a place for high-vis. Yeah, I think the high-vis will probably go on. It did used to live on my Lumen Key LX60. It might go back there. I'm waiting for the high-vis switches. I know that they're still waiting on those, and they're splitting up those orders into 2 that included both. So I don't know when those are going to come, but it would be fun to do like a fully high-vis situation. No, and I'm sad. Not that matching switches mean anything, but I like to do it because I know they're there, and I'm a weirdo who likes to fully theme things out. I appreciate that. I didn't get to catch it when it was live, but I caught some of Big H's recent stream, and he was talking about the beginning about the his black and gold TKL that he had, and that he had themed it, and like even swapped traded a weight with someone else, so you could have the more golden weight that wasn't offered with that original colorway, and also had like golden apple switches inside to go fully golden. I was like, I appreciate you, man. I see what you're doing. All right. So, well, thank you for the follow. Descend? So let's get rid of all of these foams. Now we could also remove the silicon. I'm actually curious what that might be like. So this whole thing, if you didn't know that, these whole things just pop out. Yeah, could somebody type exclamation point Discord? Or you can, if you want, Catwood. So I'm curious what this might do to the sound. Because I haven't actually tried that yet with any of these classic TKLs. I've only built, I guess I built 4 classic TKLs, 4 distinct classic TKLs up to this point, with multiple configurations each. But yeah, hop on in there. Welcome to. It's called I was going to say the cheese shop, but it's Macaronis and Keys is the name of the server. Whoop. Gotta be aware of that. Soft plate though. And HMX switches sometimes. They go in very easy, and that also means they can also pop out pretty easy sometimes. With that bounce to it. What is going on over there with that sock? Thanks, yeah, for sure. That'll increase the volume a little bit. Look at that. That's cool. I'd screw it together and then take a thumbnail. That is kind of cool altogether. All right, I think we need... These are not magnetic, are they? No. But it is magneting to the bottom of the bowl. Looks good, thanks, yeah. Yeah, this board, I think it'll look really good with Windbreaker. It does also work well with high-vis, and it works well with mutagen as well. I suspect it would also look good with, you know, Nerve and that sort of thing too. Anything with a really eye-scorching green associated with it would work out well. I also like that they did different patterns in the silicone feet for the GLO versions. I think maybe even the underscore editions have the different foot. I don't remember for sure. A fun way to show off some of the different editions of them with the different patterns. There we go. And it also has the glowy cable, which is cool. So it is clear, but it does glow. And like this, the soft touch kind of silicone cables that come with the classic TKL are some of my favorite ones to look at. Just look, they're so soft and flexible. And I like with these ones too, you can, like the one that came with the Proto Yellow Classic TKL, the one that I converted to EC, is also cool, but it's just solid yellow, whereas these you can actually like see the internals. So it almost fits the Proto Yellow a little bit more because it's mostly clear. So I don't know why I got it out, but it was in the box with it. But let us, still need to buy a insert to put in there so we don't scratch it up too much. Let's see, let's move some of this lubing stuff over here. And have a little little thumbnail, or at least some pictures of it in progress with just the green, which is pretty cool. And now for Windbreaker. Ooh. And an itchy back. Yeah. Let me check this real quick. Another notification. Go away. There we go. And I love these little touches they've been doing with the newer GMK sets. Their little stamp of approvals or premium product little cards that are cute. So let's actually look at one of our bright green. So the green is not quite there, but it is close. Oh, not close. It is actually kind of a mix between these two, but I think it will work out. I think that will be okay to not be quite the exact green. Let's see, where is my, is this the 7U? It's gotta be. Buddy. I might end up putting some more silicone in the bottom. We'll see. Let's do... Putting any knobs? Yes, we will. I have all those down here. Stepped caps, always, if available. Man, yeah, that flex is nuts. I'm so used to typing on the Dynacap Classic TKL, and that has a brass plate in it, so I was like, oh, this is flexible. Oh, jump scare. Do you focus just on keyboards, or do you also build mice? I do not build mice. Although I have been more interested in custom mice stuff recently, just because there is another keyboard plate vendor, someone who will cut custom plates for you, who has been doing customized shells for the MX Master 3, which has been really cool to see. And so that whole world has been of interest to me recently, and something I've been thinking about either getting someone to customize a mouse for me or get into that world myself. I have customized some other stuff like a Game Boy, and I want to do more of that in the future, and also building some other little electronics kits and different things like that. But No mice yet, but I'm not opposed to it. It'd be fun to try. Brass plate got to be stiff. It is, which you got to have for EC. You need to have that stability. The EC kit that comes with the Agar Mini is, well, now I'm trying to remember actually. It might be alu actually, but I was trying to remember for sure. So it's maybe a little bit more flexible, but as long as it's got the right screw taps in it and everything in the right places. I'm looking. Here, let's look together. Dang Windbreaker looks great on that. My favorite keycaps. Yeah, I wish I could have gotten DCS Windbreaker back in the day, but I'm consoling myself with GMK. I came into keyboards from STEM kits. They were tons of fun building and using. This was how I stayed sane during COVID. Oh, very nice. Excuse me. Agar Mini. Oh, this is just the same. Whoa. Hello. Oh yeah, we can get there that way. By the way, I saw the Agar Micro is up. I know Captain Sterling built one this morning, which was very interesting to see. Not my cup of tea at all. Either usefulness in terms of use or aesthetics, but it is cute. EC kit. Here we go. I think it said down below. What? Here we go. Battery, Dynacape, as it says here. Dynacape, oh, it just says EC plate. But what is the plate made of? Is it aluminum? Is it... The pictures look like aluminum, like a black aluminum. So maybe it is aluminum, and of course with a size that small, you're not going to get as much flex as if you were trying to build a TKL out of it. PVD. Yeah, well I guess we'll know for sure when it comes. Well, it's supposed to get here tomorrow, but we'll be building it in a couple weeks after the full-size Agar. The plate is made from vibranium. Boom. Yes. Made out of a fragment of Captain America's shield. Straight from Wakanda. What would it be to actually have a keyboard plate made of vibranium that could absorb all vibrations and impacts? What would that do to the sound? That would be wild. All right, come on. I guess no. What are we hung up on here? What's the deal, Shift? There we go. That was weird. So let's think about, before we get too much farther, what novelties we want. So we do have a couple of these bigger boys. They would need to live down here. We've also got, these are row 1. All of these are row 1, actually. Row 1, row 2. This is row 4. These are both row 4. I don't know if this is all of them, is it? I might have... I'm trying to remember if that's all of the novelties, or if I have them tucked away. No, I think that might be it. Yeah, we got the WASD And that, whatever. Okay, yeah, that is all of them. For some reason, I was thinking there were some more. I was just getting ready for DCS UFO that with 2 sets of novelties. I was getting primed. At some point, I do need to build something with ISO to use the giant water gun novelty. Maybe I'll save this for Shark's Babe Head. Although I was planning to use DCS UFO for that too, just because the ISO novelty is so rad. Oh, there's more. I missed these. Row 4 and another row 1. Oh, that's right. These are like a ticket that's ripped in half. So those could definitely go here if I really wanted to. Or I could throw some up here. And this little guy, that's more for like a function key or something if there were one. But there isn't. Let me go ahead and put in our arrows. Oh yeah, sure. How about that? Sorry, I was thinking about something else. Thinking about a 40s build that I could have used those spacebars for. Let's see. So print, scroll, pause go here, so we don't need those. But we've got insert, home, and page up. And then delete and page down. Even though these greens don't quite match up, I am digging it because it feels like a blend between the green and the yellow a little bit. It's a deeper spacebar. Let's do our boom boxes on the interior here. Our radios. We'll do our little torn tickets. And then on the exterior, I guess we'll just do normal control. Or are these meant to be control because they're purple? Maybe they'll put them on the outside to kind of bookend it, just so we get more color in the bottom row. Throw our alts up here. Let's see. So if we wanted to do, so I won't use these just now. Just chuck them down here. Pretty 80s and fun. Yes. I think I will put the silicon back in potentially, if nothing else, than to keep it from flexing quite as much. But we will see how it sounds before deciding for sure. So I think I'll do 3 novelties up there probably. So we got some headphones, we've got, I'm thinking this is a Discman, this is a Walkman. Is that a Discman? Kind of looks like one. Little Tamagotchi, and the titular Windbreaker. I feel like that should probably be the escape. In which case we are left with 3 more, and I think I might go with these 3 just so that, because we've already got some of the darker teal kind of happening here. I would be tempted though. Man, how rad would that look? I got to get some ISO stuff for this to swap this out for ISO. Because then we could end up using, I guess we would have this down here as well on an ISO build, which is kind of cool. Anyway, let's do, what are the, okay, those are yellow. So let's do this and break up the two warmers with a cooler one. Actually, let's do this and then green and then this, and then there'll kind of be a little bit of pink symmetry. I can tell I haven't used these function keys yet. Our stems are a little tighter. Yeah, that is flexy. Holy cow. So before I do much else, I want to see how it sounds and then maybe put the silicone back in to the bottom. And see what that changes. Stream suggestion, a way to see what songs are currently playing on stream via a hasbang or something. Well, I could do a hashbang. That would be interesting to set up. I know people can do that with Spotify integrations and stuff. I never use Spotify though. I'll have to look into that because I sometimes use a mix of things. I'll use YouTube, I'll use Pool Suite, I'll use Apple Music, I'll use Bandcamp, I'll use Doppler. So it kind of varies depending on what mood I'm in. So that would be interesting to try to set up. But that's a good idea. I'll think about that. All right, let me see. So this is, let me do this. Boink. Classic TKL. Oop. Got hair on it. The Uranium GLO Classic TKL with all of the stock matching polycarbonate plate. We're using GMK Windbreaker on top of this with night stabs and HMX Jelly linear switches. Looks gorgeous, thank you. So that is kind of how it looks. Let's see how it, let me go back to this and see how it sounds. This one's not sitting quite right. There we go. Ah, my eyes. Embrace it. Just think how much more scorching this would be if I had put high vis on this. You would be blinded. I also turned up the, opened the aperture and turned up the ISO on the camera earlier today too. So everything's a little bit brighter than it has been in the past. Sounds pretty good. Sounds like a classic TKL. Spacebar is deep, you are correct. I'm not sure that it fully matches what's going on. I might actually try another switch. That's what I'm thinking. I am on the same page. I'm thinking... I wonder if... Let me see what I've got in my catalog here. That might be a good fit. I was actually thinking about maybe trying a cheese in there. Either a cheese or a sunset gleam would be easy to get to right now. Whoa, that was an interesting music change. Something that will lift the sound. Yeah. So those are available and those are in use. What board is using those right now? Oh, the universe is actually using the sunset gleams right now, but let me get another one. Let me get a couple options. Okay, there's those and those. For the first time ever, they were both easily accessible in my switch cabinet. Here's a couple options. So, let me start first. All right, that's higher pitch now. A little bit. So that's a sunset gleam. But I'm curious how this will sound. Almost identical. I think I prefer the sunset gleam. Still some thuddiness resonance, but I think that is from the case. Yeah, I prefer that. Sunset gleam, which I thought would be a decent candidate. It's also a long pole, so I think that is the way. Curious what it'll be like with the silicon back inside, though. What it might do. That's the first time I've experimented with the taking the silicon insert out of the bottom of a classic TKL. And what it might do. Come on, buddy. There we go. Wish those were magnetic, but what you gonna do? Okay. Silicon foot. Let's make sure we can actually just take the JST out for now. I'm sure we get goes pretty easily back into place. All right, make sure our pins are aligned. Go back through the channel. Well, that's nuts out of the case. It's very, very bright and clacky out of the case. What's going on with this shift, though? I feel like something isn't sitting exactly right. A little bit of resistance on it. Reggie! You're good. We've just been sitting here waiting for you to get here. So now we can finally start. It is sitting flush, so I don't know exactly why it's being a little sluggish. There we go, that's better. So it was just slightly off about it. How are you doing today, Reggie? Last day of the quarter and my project's wraps. I'm bushed. Woo! Well, congrats for making it to the end of the quarter. It is end of Q2, everybody. We'll see how it sounds when it's screwed shut, but I think I like that with silicon in better. That Neflock, he knew what he was doing when he designed this. To include that silicon base. That I am also excited about it being the end of the quarter because my hobby money resets every quarter. And that means I'll have more keyboard money starting tomorrow, which I know that I could have been borrowing against myself, I guess, and like gone ahead and subtracted ahead from next quarter's budget, but that's not how budgets should work. I've been very disciplined. But I do have my list ready, which we'll actually probably look at some of that here after we wrap up on this classic TKL. I want to explore the schema configurator with y'all a little bit. And think through what I want to do. Since you're still here, Shark, I know you got the mint and acrylic. Whoa. Heard some big booms. I think somebody may have gotten into the fireworks a little early. Did you get any other components for the schema? Other tops or bottoms to try out? I bought a nice piece of wood today for a commission so I can get some fun money too. Nice! That's also been part of the impetus of selling keyboards, besides getting rid of things I don't use and making more space, but it's also like, it'd be nice to have some more hobby money. Do you have any tactile recommendations? I'm looking at getting some firecrackers, but I haven't tried it. I've heard great things about the firecrackers. I have not tried them myself yet. They're on my list. I have definitely been more into light tactiles recently, but what are they? They're another HMX switch that I've gotten recently that I have been enjoying, which were the... Where did they go? I should know this. They are clear. Where is the name? Oh, that's right. I have this. HMX Hydras. I've really been enjoying Hydras recently. I have them in my Artemis right now. I'll actually grab that since we have the time. And I have really liked it. They're not too heavy. They're only 58 grams or so. Where is that keyboard? Too many boards. Oh, there it is. Another reason why I'm selling. All I got was hot swap PCB, 2 carbon fiber plates, PP plate, pumice weight, mint bottom, acrylic top, and bowls, gorp, and switches. Okay, gotcha. Ordered the Sarus today. I've heard good things about those too, partly from you. Big H was talking about, got a free sampler of my Divinity order and was sold. Nice. So I'm using Hydras in this board right now. Are you all ready? Ready for the reveal? What's up, RedTube? Yeah, some clownery. It's got a little dust on it from the cloth, but here, I'll pause this so you can hear. So bear in mind, this is with DCS, so it has a DCS sound to it, but am I picking up the schema? Yes, I plan to. But these are with the Hydras in here. So they are clear with a little bit of sparkle in them, which you won't be able to tell from there, but that is the HMX Hydras. And I enjoy them. They've got a nice little snap to them. And they're not too... not too heavyweight of a tactile, in my opinion. Some clownery, yes. So actually, I wanted to look at the schema configurator to plan out my build and get it more or less ready to go for tomorrow, because that's when I'm planning to order it. In our remaining 16 minutes or so. I got to try the schema at KeyCon, and I really dug it. And it just looks lovely. And I'm more a fan of its mounting style than, say, some of the things that the Manta had going for it, just as a point of comparison. I enjoy pour-on gaskets quite a bit. All right. Zing, is it working? It's flashing green. I don't know what that means. Why are you just flashing at me? Uh-oh, is it not gonna work? Here's the thing. I thought later it was a different issue, but I did give this board the daughter board from the EC build that I thought was faulty potentially. I swapped them. And now I'm wondering, oh, maybe it is just a crooked cable? Now, later I thought it was, oh, there we go. I just had to flip the cable upside down. That is weird. You're supposed to be omnidirectional USB-C. What is your problem? That is so weird. And then I flip it and it's totally fine. Interesting. Well, now it's working. So let's get the configurator pulled back up. I'll just leave this tucked down here. Interesting. Yeah, it is. And look at the schema. So, the raw clear coat is gorgeous. That is the prototype I saw at KeyCon. That is also probably going to be the same finish that the Manta I have is, which is stunning. That raw clear coat is so nice. It is gorgeous. So that is definitely in consideration because I know it looks good. I already know that it looks good and that they can do a good job with it. So could go the full machinist route again, you know, with the raw top and bottom and then the, well, here, let's look at it. Raw top, raw bottom, and then the machinist weight. So could go the same full Manta experience that I already had. Which I already know will look great. So that's a possibility. Could also, I mean, the other thing that's has been mostly catching my eye because I've seen prototypes of it and it's so nice is the mint. But as mentioned, I'm a little wary of mint only because I already have a mint Juna on the way. Same reason that you know, for example, Shark, since he's here, I'll just keep using him as an example. You know, went with the cyan Juna because he was already getting a mint oblique. And so I can understand that reasoning too of like not wanting to have too many of a more niche colored board like this. Like, you know, there's not as many things. There are definitely some, you know, there's Gorp, there's Grass Valley, there's great options of things that will go well with mint and cyan and stuff like that. But, yes, that's what I just said. Of the, like, not necessarily wanting to double up on some more potentially niche colored boards. So I know that this mint will look good. I don't know that I want two mint 60% boards. Like maybe if it was a different layout, then potentially it might be worth having two very similarly colored things. So I'm on the fence about that. Could you swap your mint Juna for a cyan? I want the mint Juna though. I like it. So what I've been considering more recently, and what I'm currently leaning towards, so feel free to weigh in on this, is doing aged. Because a lot of times when there's a more unique finish, I like to go for it. Like I really enjoyed that when I did the Salvation and I did the Copper Slag because it was more unique. With the Protozoa Foundation, I did the Wrinkle Coat Gray because it was the most unique finish and very interesting. Like, there's something about, and I know that more than one board have the age forced patina stuff applied to them. You know, the Manta has had it, the Caherns had it, this has had it, etc. But I have not had an aged board personally, and there's something about that kind of risky to it, you know, because you don't know what you're gonna get. That entices me, and it would be very unique. It would definitely go with a lot of stuff because it's neutral. So that is kind of I'm thinking about kind of as the base right now is chasing the aged route. That being said, I'm very, you know, I do want to add on some extra bits. I do want to do maybe add on an acrylic top or something else just to kind of have that as an option. But we'll see. I would have done aged if I didn't like the Vaza as much as I do. Yeah. The Vasa green, I'm really, I'll just, I'm trying to be diplomatic. I am glad that people like this green. I don't, which is fine. But yeah, the Vasa green has never really been a temptation for me. Green boards in all are kind of tough for me. I don't know why. I've only ever had one, and it was fine. I had a green Sonnet. But I think another config I kind of liked was Tangerine top and Machinist bottom. Oh, yes, yes, yes. You are absolutely correct. That is really good. The Tangerine is nice because I've seen some photos, and this is granted, this is a render. Oh, no, this isn't. I'm sorry, this is a photo because they actually, except for the mint bottom, which didn't exist at the time, all of these components in the configurator are photos. There were some photos I saw, and I don't know if it was just because of the exposure that was used. Somebody had a prototype and took photos, and I don't remember who it was, but the Tangerine top looked a lot more kind of amber. So like veering more into yellow than orange, and I really liked that, and I wish something like that were available. But the orange and Machinist does look really good. And I could see that working so well with like, you know, Kaiju or even more so like Mars Cadet would look so good with like Machinist and orange. So, yeah. I thought about Vasa, but it's almost like buying and it's admitting to myself the PAL will never come because that was supposed to be my green build. Listen, we're both getting screwed over by Protozoa right now. The Event Horizon and the PAL. And it's not fun. But, yeah. And the clear acrylic, there's the the sand blasted acrylic will go with so many things. I think I raised this on one of Bull's streams potentially, but something that he said like, oh yeah, we can look into that. So I don't know if it'll actually happen. I might have to ask again in the Discord or something, but I would love if white Poron was made available. Because, like with some past boards that Bull has done, I believe he said that each individual plate will come with its own set of gaskets, so that you could adhere them to the plate rather than the case, which would look better coming through the acrylic tops, rather than having the adhesive side visible. It would be stuck to the plate and you would just see the Poron. So if white Poron were an option, that would potentially look much better coming through the acrylic, in my opinion. And some other people have raised similar thoughts. So that's something I want to look into as far as, because that would definitely influence my decision of tops if I could maybe source my own white Poron strips, or if they would become an option or an add-on or something through Bowl. That would be my preference and would impact my decision of buying an acrylic top, because I think that would look much better. Is there also gray Poron, maybe something more neutral? Yeah, I think anything more chromatically isn't the right word because it's more a matter of brightness. But yeah, closer, not black, I guess, is what I'm saying. I think that something lighter, so either a gray or a white or a light gray, something like that would look better. Let's keep looking here. So yeah, Machinist is going to look great. Age is going to look great. It's really between more Machinist stuff and more aged stuff for me, I think. And maybe adding out. Watch me get this and then add on mint parts just because I like mint so much. But, I mean, eventually I will need a board both for Gorp and for Grass Valley. Just close your eyes, click on a few and order it. I should just be like a roulette wheel, and then whatever parts, whatever you get. I mean, I'm sure if anyone here is already interested in the schema, you've seen like you can get the option to buy every single part Does this go straight? Okay, it goes straight to that. It doesn't go to like schema. If I could spell schema, that would probably help. There was basically a bundle where you could buy. Oh yeah, the signature bundle, $1,600, where you can get every single part. Not in every single layout, mind you. You do have to choose a layout per color of top, but that nets you all the tops, all the bottoms, all the weights, and hardware for 5 keyboards. Well, thank you for the follow, Alan. Welcome, welcome. Still waiting on GMK Finer Things. Ah, yes, I know that's been pretty popular. Not for me, but I'm happy for folks who were waiting for it. Anyway, if I had the cash for that, that was very tempting to me, because it was also like, then I could just keep the parts I wanted and either like trade or swap or sell or whatever with people to like get different configurations they may want. But I guess you could always like go in on it with some people. Be like, it also nets you a special gift of some kind that is unknown. Where does it say? Oh yes, by purchasing the bundle you get a discount of $50 off, as well as a surprise gift exclusive to the signature bundles. So no clue what that is. But anyway, very interesting. I did try to get in on the LE, which might not exist in here anymore after the... Yeah, I don't think it's in here anymore. The limited edition one that had like glow-in-the-dark infill, and it was more of a gunmetal gray with like a smoky acrylic top. Did not work out. Yeah, the LE sold out so quick. It was very fast. Tried both drops and it didn't work out, but there weren't very many, so that's okay. Wasn't too torn up about it. But yeah, there's a lot of choices. They make it tough by making you choose whatever you want. So, I mean, red is cool too. I don't need another red board right now, though. I have my red Neo, and that's very nice. I don't have enough keycap sets that would go with red to warrant having another red board right now. But yeah, part of the decision has also been thinking ahead to like, what keycap sets do I have that are coming up? Mugen did not love the red he got. Uh-oh. I didn't see that stream. Because like thinking ahead to keycaps that are on the way that I might want to pair with this stuff. So Grass Valley, of course, which would look great on either aged or mint or machinist. Solar Green is on the way. Bowl Pit, which could go with red, could go with a lot of things potentially. DCS Handerbait. UFO, of course, but that'll be here very soon. What else? Tars and Ferrofluid. Tars would look pretty red on aged, I gotta say. As would Ferrofluid. Ferrofluid would look really good on aged with all the grays. Excited for Tars. Tars is gonna be red, I think. That is my current plan for the event horizon now, is Tars. There was a DCS intro white on black, but now it has switched to Tars because I think it'll look really nice with the mix between the dark and the machined aluminum on it on the event horizon. So, you know, some stuff coming up. I also plan to get in this quarter. I also want to get in on Swag Keys Wob, Swag Keys Nerve. Yeah, okay. I think it's going to be aged. It's going to be aged. It's going to be aged. Yes, yeah, Nerve. We're low on time here, but let's look at the Swag Keys roadmap. So the last update was about 4 days ago with NeoL and Midnight Rainbow stuff. But if we look ahead, so we are just finishing up Q2. Midnight Rainbow, I think, is in group by now, right? So Q3 coming up. We got NeoL, we got Nerve, which doesn't have any information yet, but it is currently slated for Q3. I wish it didn't reset every time. Evil Eye, Heartbreaker, Parkway, Bolch, Wob, which will be an in-stock drop in August. I think it will be at Bowl for North American folk or American folks. Hypermix, Lavender, Hazakura, Pastel Goth Art, and Retro Red Light are all Q3, which is wild. It is stacked. Q4 so far, we've only got Fan UC, Retroguardia, and Koyo lined up. So we'll see. We'll see if any of this ends up sliding towards Q4, depending on how things go. But yeah, Q3 is going to be wild. I definitely have my eye on multiple of these Q3 sets. And if their speed and quality continue as they have, I'll be very excited. Except for Shark's one number key that was missing part of the top shot. But yeah, I'm actually so happy about Nerve. I want that for my derivative or perhaps the bias. Yeah, it's going to be rad. I'm very excited about Nerve in Swag Keys. So there we go. Thanks for the input, folks. I think aged might be. Oh yeah, there's an aged weight, isn't there? There's also the pumice. I was actually wondering if pumice weight, if aged with the pumice would be interesting, just for a little bit of variance. Because then there's 3 pieces that might not match each other at all. So I was actually thinking about doing aged pumice. Rejoice, Nerve Numpad. Yes. What do we think about that? Pumice with it. Well, you've seen the pumice weight in person now, Shark. What do you think? Potentially a pumice weight with an aged top and bottom. And then maybe throwing in. I haven't decided on plate stuff yet. Probably the usual like Alu and PP. Maybe go ahead and get a Dynacap plate for later at some point, but it's a lovely color. Might be a bit boring, but it is nice. Okay. I'll keep considering that. And then, yeah, usual PCB choices probably. So maybe going full aged is the play. Be interested to see how that turns out. Or it could go like aged copper or something. The weight, does it change the sound much from the heavy materials? I wouldn't guess so, but I don't know for sure. I need to go back. I mean, after this, at some point, I'm going to actually watch Shark's stream where he's built it in a more isolated environment. Yeah, Shark built it today, and he's building it again on Thursday. If that's what you were asking about, Masters. I think he only has it for this week, so he's doing a couple build streams. Machinist copper's so nice. Okay, I'll maybe I'll get a couple weights, but I'll do aged, and then maybe a couple additional tops or something. But aged for sure. But I think I'll have to decide more at a later date. But yeah, I don't think there'd be a huge difference. It doesn't come into the case a ton, if I'm not mistaken, like where it actually makes contact with the bottom. Or I mean, where there's like a space where there's open between it and the case toward the front. Anyway, there you go. A very vibrant classic TKL for today. Try to fend off the heat with a chill build. But we'll be back next week with an agar. We'll be soldering an agar full size or as full as they get. 60%, and then we'll do an Agar Mini the following week, and then we'll see what we get up to. But thank y'all for being here. A treat as always. And I'm going to start ordering some shit next week. So, or I mean, tomorrow. Once I have money again. Yeah, of course. A little lower attendance than usual, looks like, but that is understandable with Alex up and about on a Tuesday. Is he still going, probably? Oh, we got multiple people. We got Patty streaming, we got Alex streaming, we got Manic Geek streaming. Lots of people streaming. It's so hot, it really is. At least we have more air conditioning infrastructure than some of the afflicted places in Europe, which I am thankful for. So let's go ahead and get ready to raid Mr. Toes. I feel bad for the EU folks. Yeah, me too. For sure. And we will go see. I love it when my browser doesn't finish autofilling the URL I'm typing in, and so I tried to go to Twit instead of twitch.tv so that I could actually get Alex's stream pulled up ahead of time. But anyway. Oh, look at that. He's typing on Windbreaker right now, too. See y'all later. We'll be back soon. Buy my keyboards if you want to. One more plug. After this week, I will start putting them other places, so they might get snatched up. So if there's something you're interested in, let me know. Okay, bye!